I want to go to our first story. I don't have that many this week, thankfully.
Cool.
But we are going to first say thanks, Joe Biden.
Oh,
How do we go from stimulus checks to go to work with COVID? Oh wait, that's cut off. Hold on. And this is an op-ed that's written by John Knefel in Truthout that I caught earlier this week. And I wanted to bring it out because it does talk about the contrast and talking about flattening the curve and Democrats talking about Trump and Biden administration struggles to even internally agree on whether to send N95 masks to everyone, which they decided was a good idea. It's like closing the barn door after the horse has already left. Long after the horse has already left. They're sending 4 masks to every household, even if there are 5 people in your household.
what do you got to share, bro?
I don't understand exactly how this works, but okay. Government logic. Orale! I see a Shadow Man refugee in the chat.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Okay, so Kamala Harris joined Bernie and Ed Markey. Oh yeah, well, they wanted $2,000 monthly payments for everyone making under $120,000 a year. Man, that would have been great.
Oh God! And of course they means tested anyway. Like,
well, but you know what?
Blanket. I feel you.
$2,000 a
nothing,
month
but
payments. Yes, thank
yeah.
you. Thanks a lot.
But
Yeah, now that rhetoric, of
people
course, is
only 120,000 or less. Like, they're means testing it. Like,
right. And then they wanted. Then they were arguing over should our fake proposal include gig workers or not? Nah, why not?
oh God, yeah.
Nobody's getting them anyway, so why not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Some lawmakers have reportedly been discussing another round of stimulus spending for small business owners of restaurants and gyms. Really? That would be cool. Okay.
Yeah.
It's only 2 years in, and they've gotten like PPP money that went to larger businesses. And our friend Shadowman Refugee did a ton of research into some of the companies that did profit. And I know Ali Alexandra and some other writers have done that.
Yeah.
Okay, Biden administration appears outright hostile to the idea of renewing direct payments to Americans, right? Of course. So they're not giving out any more stimulus checks. We knew that was going to be done. We're not going to write checks to incentivize people to sit at home. Oh, man. Oh, isn't this awesome? Again,
I mean,
if they're going to print cash, they might as well give it to the Americans that are actually going to spend it and put it back into the economy, for sure.
Yep.
I think that goes without saying.
Give it to the people who already have it. Like they're trying to complete serial numbers. Like, you gotta get all of that one.
Right, the reconfigured child tax credit. I mean, look, I got 3 kids. I was getting $800 a month there for a little bit, and that's decent money. Of course, now of course it's just a tax credit that you're gonna end up getting. You're gonna have to take it off your taxes in the end. And it expired in December. Thanks for that, guys. Unemployment ended in September. Federal unemployment. Okay, so studies are showing that states ending the federal assistance, had the same job growth as states that stayed in the program, right? So it's just all right.
Are we
U.S.
still in the
hospitalization records
moratorium on top of that too? Like,
no, that got lifted. I think that got lifted as of the 1st of January, just about everywhere. A couple places it's still February 1st. But right, there's still that's going to be lifted in the middle of winter, and then of course they kick the student debt thing down the road till May. And then we'll see what happens May 1st. He says no more extensions past that. The lack of another round of survival checks or unemployment boosts means people can't afford to stay home, right? Kicking you back out, even though that would help slow the spread, quote unquote.
Well, yeah, I mean, people were suffering before COVID happened, and I know people who got that money were actually just wanted the money regardless of like that actually helped them regardless of the situation with COVID. So, I mean, now we're a year and change deep. Like, worse conditions, like we're still nothing.
I mean,
You
the
know.
hospital systems are telling nurses to come to work sick that are infectious. You know,
Yeah.
uh, that's that's probably not good. And then, of course, we know
Right.
about Red Lobster workers who've been forced to work sick, according to popular info. Right. Well, which I think we covered that on this show a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. God,
If you're
I sound like
unvaxxed,
Steve Poitkin now. We covered that 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Love you, Steve.
We just don't have the crystal ball he does, dude. He's like a
Oh, he's
master
so
of
good.
tea reading, and
So good.
like we just have to
So,
learn the ways.
some teachers in New York City have been forced into the classroom despite testing positive for COVID. Of course, we've heard about that. For years, restaurant workers have been expected to work while sick or injured because nobody's getting compensated for sick pay automatically. That's got to be worked
Right.
in, and oh, it's been a mess. And then, of course, with everybody being out, they're not really letting people have as many days off. Now, it depends upon where you work. But here, for all the talk of the great resignation, the reality is working class in the U.S. is still struggling to make ends meet. I mean, I don't think that the average wage has increased tremendously over the last few years,
No.
even despite the pandemic and the amount of money that was pumped into the economy and the amount of money that the top ended up earning. You know, here's another one: about 14% of Kroger workers faced homelessness in the past year. We covered that last
We
Saturday,
covered that. Yeah.
right? So this just again is a nice summary and a reminder of the failed policies that have led to where we are right now, and that these are political choices, and that it is not the fault of the people that are out there, other than the fact that we don't that we elected them.
Well,
I have
it's
not
one of those
followed.
things where
Hmm?
people want to get back to normal, right? Which is partly like what that article is talking about, right? Is that a certain class of people want things to go back to normal without realizing none of us really want that. None of us really want that normal, you know?